Do you often feel like people take advantage of you? It's a harsh reality that some of us might be more susceptible to exploitation due to certain habits. These habits, often born out of good intentions or simply being too accommodating, can leave us open to manipulation and misuse. From people-pleasing tendencies to an inability to set boundaries, these patterns of behavior can unwittingly place us in the path of those who would exploit us. Today we're going to discuss 8 habits that make you vulnerable to exploitation and how to overcome them using Stoic principles. Let's dive into these 8 habits that might be making you more susceptible to exploitation. First, we have people-pleasing, a habit where you constantly strive to make others happy, often at the cost of your own well-being. You might feel compelled to agree with others, even when you don't, just to avoid conflict. Second is the lack of boundaries. This habit involves allowing others to overstep your personal comfort zone just because you're afraid to say no. Remember, it's not about being selfish, it's about self-respect. Next up, we have overcommitting. This happens when you take on more than you can handle, whether it's tasks, responsibilities, or social commitments. Overcommitting can lead to stress and burnout. Fourth is the failure to communicate needs. Do you often keep your feelings and needs to yourself, fearing that expressing them might burden others? If so, it's time to realize your needs are just as important as anyone else's. The 5th habit is seeking external validation. Relying on others for approval can leave you feeling insecure and unsatisfied. True validation comes from within, not from the outside. 6th, we have tolerating disrespect. Allowing others to treat you poorly without standing up for yourself can damage your self-esteem and sense of worth. The 7th habit is ignoring red flags. This involves dismissing or rationalizing warning signs in people's behavior. Ignoring these red flags can lead to harmful relationships. And finally, the 8th habit is relying on others for happiness. Placing your happiness in someone else's hands can lead to disappointment and heartache. Remember, happiness is a personal journey and it starts with you. Now that we've identified these habits, let's talk about how we can address them. Stoicism offers a way to combat these exploitable habits. It's a philosophy rooted in ancient wisdom, but its principles still hold true today. And these principles can be your shield against exploitation. First, cultivate self-respect. Remember, you're deserving of respect and kindness, just as much as anyone else. Don't allow others to treat you less than you deserve. Second, set clear boundaries. Know your limits and make them known to others. This isn't about being rigid or unapproachable, it's about maintaining a healthy balance between your needs and those of others. Third, practice self-discipline. This goes hand in hand with setting boundaries. By exercising restraint and control over your actions, you prevent others from taking advantage of your goodwill. Fourth, communicate your needs clearly. Don't expect others to read your mind. Express your expectations and needs openly and honestly. Fifth, seek inner validation. Your worth is not determined by others. Validate yourself and you'll become less dependent on external approval. Sixth, confront disrespect. If someone crosses your boundaries or disrespects you, address it. It's important to stand up for yourself. Seventh, trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Your gut instinct is a powerful tool. Use it. Finally, take responsibility for your happiness. Your happiness is in your hands, not in the hands of others. When you take control of your joy, you'll find that you're less prone to being exploited. By applying these Stoic principles, you can reclaim control over your life. Let's quickly recap the 8 habits and their Stoic solutions. We've talked about people-pleasing, lacking boundaries, overcommitting, and failing to communicate needs. We've also discussed seeking external validation, tolerating disrespect, ignoring red flags, and relying on others for happiness. But remember, Stoicism offers solutions: self-respect, setting boundaries, self-discipline, clear communication, inner validation, confronting mistreatment, trusting intuition, and taking responsibility for your own happiness. Remember, the power to change these habits lies within you. Don't forget to subscribe for more empowering content like this. Thank you for watching.